All right, so just let your video play through here once so you can see what we're working with from both angles. All right, so hopefully that view right there from the front is eye-opening and maybe some sirens are going off for you. Um, but first, let's look at the side view. And like we talked about at the end of our session, and like we worked on for like the first month or so last year, is that set position. Okay, we have to have the ability to get this leg off the ground quickly and without sacrificing body control. Okay, meaning we have to be able to lift this leg off the ground without our body moving, shifting, sliding. So that way we are strong on our back leg to then be able to aggressively and quickly get ourselves going down the mound to our target. Like we also discussed at the end of our session, how time to the plate works. We don't have a lot of time when we're in the stretch to lift our leg and get the ball to the catcher. If you watch your body, we can see that very much your weight is out here. You have much more weight on your front leg than your back leg. You're going to have to shift your body weight backwards before this leg can even begin to come off the ground. And the longer you play this game, the better the base runners are. And very quickly and early into a game, they're going to notice that you have to shift, shift back in order to get that leg off the ground. If you're having to shift weight back, guys are able to start to get their secondary, start to steal before that foot even comes off the ground because they're seeing this shift occur. Guys that are of a high IQ are going to know that guys that have to shift their weight back to get that leg up are not going to be guys that can start going to the target very quickly because you're going to have to stop that weight from being shifted back and not go too far back. And now you're going to pause and hesitate before we get going. And now you're going to drop down, drop down, drop down. And we have not gained any ground yet. Your knees are just about touching here. All right. This is not a very strong position to start going out to our target from this low already. Look at your face. We talked about this a lot last year. Humming or like not holding our breath while we're throwing, but breathing out through release. You're already tight, tense, and just holding your breath. So then we can see this foot's already touching the ground. Boom, we're in the ground. We haven't rotated anything. We can see where our stride's going. It's opening up again. We talked about that. I remember last year was going to our target, not opening up. If we look over here from the front view, boom, your foot's touching the ground right there. Our hips haven't rotated yet. That knee's in the way. We got the foot on the side on the angle right here, just the inside part of our foot. And now we're just going to be spinning. And when you spin, that arm's going to get slung out this way. You're going to fall and rip this way. And our ability to command a fastball or any type of pitch in that tight, small of a window that you're affording yourself to be in is almost next to impossible to expect. If you just watch this from here, once our front foot hits the ground, that's all the power that we've gained. That's all the power we're going to be able to send. Now it's just up to that lower half to be in a good position for us to send that energy, send that power in a good direction to our target downhill as we rotate out in front of us. Watch how we rotate, though. We're rotating around ourselves. We're trying to get out in front, but look how much around we're getting that ball. Around the baseball. We're getting around it. Look how much you just rip into the side to try to get this ball out. This front leg never even gets cleared until right there. That's the first time our knee gets into a good position. So, again, pitching is not, nor is any type of throwing, how aggressive, quick can I just spin my upper half side to side and just whip my arm around my body. The only time that's occurring is when like a second baseman gets his feet stuck in the ground and he's turning two and he's just got to turn and burn. That's what this would look like right here. It's just a second baseman who got his feet caught in a bad position and is having to turn two as quickly as he can. All right, this is not going to be what we want to do pitch after pitch after pitch, throwing as hard as we can every single pitch, 70, 80, 90 times a game, week after week after week, month after month, year after year. So we got to remember that the set position starts everything. If we don't start in a good position, our first movement's not going to be good and we're not going to be able to flow. So because your set position wasn't good, we have to rock the weight back. And now we're not going to the target. We're not going anywhere. We're still 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 not going anywhere. And look how close your foot is to hitting the ground already. If this wasn't going down that 1 inch per 1 foot like we talked about, you'd probably be hitting the ground already right now with this foot. But luckily, you got about 1.5 inches probably that you're working with below this foot. And then it's just foot in the ground, and we can see where that stride's going. You're just opening up. Okay. And then lower half hasn't rotated yet. Front lower half still hasn't rotated yet. Now the back lower half has rotated, but it's rotated finally, and now the ball's about to be out of the hand. Out of the hand. So that lower body is not able to create any power for us, and you are 100% throwing by just sheer rip and spin, yank and pull, upper half rotation, which is very unsafe to now be incorporated with on this mound when we need to be going downhill. We need to be using our whole body. We need to be using our lower half. Even if the lower half isn't strong, at least the lower half needs to be getting into a good position at our foot strike and not getting into a position where the front leg hasn't even begun to rotate yet. The front leg hasn't really begun to rotate yet before that foot hits the ground. So, I mean, we can even just pull up one video for you here. I don't know if we even need to show a comparison for you to know that that's that. Okay. Let's get a guy like Dylan Cease. Boom. With that front leg. So the whole thing rotates before it hits the ground. Using the foot, using the knee, and using that hip. Boom. Versus that.
Still is.
Boom. Get a lot more in line with the target, so that way it doesn't have to roll outwards. Doesn't have to roll to first at all to throw. Yours has to roll, roll, roll to first in order to throw. Losing power, losing command. Good straight line, boom, and stays in that straight line. So we just got to get better set position, and we got to actually use our body to throw and not just spin as fast as we can to throw.